you tired of chasing productivity hacks and trying new productivity apps and still feeling like an absolute failure? I was too, until I found this kind of secret to productivity. Now, before I unpack it, these are all the things that I've tried. Pomodoro, Motion app, Monday.com, ClickUp, Asana, Note-taking, A3 notebook taking, note-taking with the same headlines every day, to-do list, bigger to-do list, alarms on my phone, egg time, isolation, Notion, YouTube videos of productivity playlists. The list goes on. All of these have one goal, and it's to get me into this mythical state of productivity. But they left me just feeling like I'd screwed up again. I've always been a very distractible person. Like in school, I was the one who was responsible for everyone getting put on a seating plan where you have to sit next to someone you don't like, because I would just distract anyone I was sitting next to. When it comes to locking in and knocking out a bunch of tasks, I would give myself like a D-. But where does that leave someone like me? Someone who actually wants to accomplish things, like in this instance build a business, but struggles to get into that illustrious state of productivity that everyone talks about. After many apps and attempts to become productive, I found myself researching how to actually do it on YouTube, and I stumbled across a video called The Myth of Productivity. When I was clicking on the thumbnail, I did not know that this would be maybe even a life changer for me. And I realized productivity might not be as straightforward as we think. We often associate productivity with progress, but why? Is it because online hustle culture and the gurus of our time are telling us it's the only way to succeed? You need to be productive, you need to wake up at 5 a.m, cold shower, sauna, sun your balls, all that kind of stuff. Or is it because we get a sense of satisfaction when we actually get things done, and that sense of satisfaction aligns with our perception of moving forward? In its definition, productivity is the rate at which output of goods or services are produced. So naturally, we turn to systems, apps, and hacks to help us speed up our productivity. But in my experience, that didn't do that at all. In fact, they followed a very similar pattern. I would discover a new tool, I'd convince myself that this was the magical tool that I'd been searching for, I'd spend time learning it, I'd feel productive while learning it, and after a week or two, I'd realize I'd fallen off the wagon and it was just another notch on my productivity hacks belt. But when I was learning that tool, I was focused, I was driven, I had a goal, and I knew what I was working towards. And I felt successful using it. But every single time, I've mistaken this focus for progress towards my larger goal of building a business. Man, I was just distracted. So where do I go from here? How do I stop this cycle from repeating itself? That's when I realized something that completely changed my perspective. Instead of looking for the next productivity hack, why don't I just ask myself what I actually need to do in order to succeed in my goal of building a business? Crazy, I know. In the video I mentioned, I came across the efficiency trap, which is the idea just because you make yourself more efficient or productive, it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to feel more accomplished. And this hit me like a ton of bricks, or a freight train. Because I've had days where I've clicked off every single task in my ClickUp and still got into bed feeling guilty because I felt like I hadn't done enough. I've been chasing productivity, thinking that if I was productive, I'd be in control of my business growth. And if I was in control of my business growth, I'd be able to be in control of my future. But the future can't be controlled because, well, it doesn't exist yet. For me, that was the really weird part, is that this all comes down to me wanting to control the future. But if I told you for a second, there were 3 tasks that I needed to complete every single day, they weren't time sensitive and they were proven to grow my business, would it really matter at what time I did them? No, it wouldn't matter what time. However, I would feel very different if I got them all done as soon as I woke up, knocked the 3 out, and I had the rest of the day to myself, because I would feel accomplished in the morning. But that's the thing, I would feel different. The outcome would still be the same. This realization was another light bulb moment for me. It made me question whether we're just distracting ourselves by constantly searching for productivity instead of asking the real question, what do I actually need to do to move forward? And that's where I kind of realized I was set up for failure in the beginning when I first started my business. Because I looked around to the world and I said, what do I need to do in order to be successful? And everywhere I looked, it said, work hard and you'll make it. That has to be the worst advice I think I have ever received. What do I work hard at? I don't know. If working hard was the only thing that needed to happen in order for someone to feel fulfilled and successful, then people on mining rigs and those guys who do the oil spinning chain thing, they would all be super fulfilled and happy, but that's not the case. So what's the real advice we should be seeking? For me, it was find what I really enjoy doing and set a huge, ambitious goal. Then re-engineer those steps to actually get to that goal and really make sure it's something that you want to do. My original goal was to make money, but if I'm being truthful, It wasn't that at all. Because if I just wanted to make money, I could have stayed in my corporate job, climbed the ladder, and made money. What I really enjoy doing is solving problems, specifically using automation and systems. As it turns out, there are people out there with businesses who have problems, and I can solve them. Turns out I have problems I can solve when building my business. I'm not building a business based on how productive I can make myself feel. I'm building a business to solve real problems. It's no longer a game of how productive can I be or how fast can I be at completing my tasks, but rather one of enjoyment and being in the present moment. I've found that when I genuinely enjoy what I'm doing, I naturally do more of it and I don't even have to worry about productivity at all. And by detaching myself of a specific outcome and how quickly I want to achieve it, I've been able to put less pressure on myself to perform. And in its place, I've found a sense of freedom and gracefulness that actually allows me to get more done because I'm enjoying that process and not the destination I think I'm heading towards. I've discovered success isn't really about working hard at all. It's about working on the right things and enjoying them so that you stick at them long enough to actually get to where you want to go. Peace.